and welcome to Small Town Big Business, a podcast about doing big business in the small town. I'm Jennifer Olson, Director of Business Development for the City of Marion.
And I'm Russell Williams. I'm Director of EThOs. We're a small business incubator, co-working spaces, training, and development here in Marion, Illinois. In fact, you're joining us downtown on the Tower Square Plaza, and we're inside the Citadel building in a 109-year-old historical building that we're about to renovate here on our square. And so thank you so much for joining us, and I want to thank you, our sponsors, for making the Small Town Big Business podcast possible. And that includes Arcadia Wealth Group, Fowler Heating and Cooling, Black Diamond RV and Harley Davidson, the Watermark Auto Group Foundation, Swinford Media Group, and our producers at Union Street Arts.
And I would just invite you, podcast listeners, to go to your favorite platform and make sure that you subscribe, because we don't want you to miss one single episode. And so if that's not enough for you, or you want to match our faces to our voices, or you want to see our beautiful venue here at the Citadel, please find us on YouTube, where you can get the video and the audio.
And we have a special guest. Again, you invited our first guest. That's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like Russ was like, slow your roll, girl. I don't know these people. I don't know if they fit small town big business, but I think I had a home run with our first guest, and I really feel our second guest as co-host will be a home run also.
Thank you very much.
And so Alicia Davis.
Yes.
From Alicia Davis State Farm.
Yes.
Yeah, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to be
we
here.
We do know each other.
Yes, we do.
Right? We go back a few years.
Yes, absolutely.
And so, but you're originally from Benton, Illinois?
Yes.
And your husband's from West Frankfort. That's how I know him, because that's where I'm from.
Right, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, pre-business that you're in right now, where you come from, maybe about your family and things like that.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I was born in somewhere around year 7, but I lived in Centralia, Illinois. My dad was a teacher there at Murray Center, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. And then my dad was really big into photography and made the huge decision to move to Benton, Illinois to start a photography studio. And
which studio was that at?
Cooper Studio.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there for 30 years.
Wow.
And they still live in Benton. And my mom and dad, they worked side by side together over those 30 years. And so it was a really great experience for me. Absolutely. I'm married. My husband's Denon, and we have 2 wonderful kids, Lucas and Emma. They are both moved away. Emma is in Tucson, Arizona, going to school, pre-med, and Lucas is in Orlando as sound engineering. So he just graduated in May, and so he's living his best life right now.
Good.
So yeah, absolutely.
Are you still in the West Frankfort area?
Yes, we are. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
super.
Yeah,
and so we're speaking about Dr. Denon Davis. So
yes,
I think people are going to recognize his name. So that's awesome.
Yes.
Now, you've been in business before, right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that evolution from what you have done in life to maybe being a business owner.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I really feel like, the entrepreneurial spirit was, started off with my parents, and, what great role models I had to see all that and to know what my future business would look like and how I wanted to see, with as far as customer service, being involved in the community, and they were just really great role models for that. My husband and I both have had different ventures, or, he always liked to, do different things with real estate. And so that we've been very involved in real estate for a long time. When our daughter was in 1st grade and our son was in 3rd, I had decided to buy a sports store in West Frankfort, Illinois, called Fielder's Choice. And we had that for about 3 years. And I realized I really needed to be at home because, his schedule was from 5 o'clock in the morning till 8, 9 o'clock. He went to the hospital every day to round, so I really needed to be at home. And so went back to being a stay-at-home mom and did that until our kids were in high school, started doing recruiting part-time for higher level, Teresa Katubik. Mm-hmm. And then I went to a company in Huntsville, Alabama. And then after the kids were graduating and everything, and we were empty nesters, and empty nesters all the time because they were so far away. I really knew it was time for me to look at starting to do something for myself. I knew what I wanted in a business, what I wanted to see, and that's kind of where all this got started.
Yeah, awesome.
I definitely see a phenomena where women who, while they may have been dabbling in real estate and other things, they have been doing things all along the way, and certainly having that, very important focus on raising good people.
Yes.
But then they have also been in a support role sort of for maybe more dominant career for their spouse. But then when about the time their spouse is kind of winding down, we're just getting going.
Exactly.
And so I look kind of at people that I see in your girl gang, like Melissa Plant from Caldwell Banker and you, that are just really like, talk about don't pass, go, just go. You guys just went all in.
Yeah.
And so who inspires you? Who's in your club and corner? How do you flip that switch to go in?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first, faith, family, friends they're very, very important to me, and that's been huge with starting this business. Melissa had started off getting into the real estate, and she's just done amazingly well. She's just, she's great, and we talk often about, work and things like that. So, she's just a great person to run things by, and I feel very blessed to have her. My parents being in that entrepreneurial role for so long that, I can ask them things all the time. And so that's really nice as well. But yeah, we just kind of, it was our, kind of our time. Things that slow down. You're trying to find your role and your piece in, life after, raising kids have been such a huge part of it for so long, and you kind of lose a little bit of your identity during that time, and so it was nice to try to figure out where I wanted to be, and what that role looked like, and I had time to kind of search it out and realize what that was going to look like.
So talk about this business, State Farm.
Yes.
People are familiar with State Farm.
Yes, absolutely.
But why this business, and what services do you provide?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Well, when I was looking at what business that I wanted to get into, I was looking at, I wanted something that I could give back to the community. I could help people, whatever services that we were offered, that I would really be able to make a difference in people's lives. And so when I was looking around for different things, I spoke to our agent, Paul Costco, in West Frankfort, and he said, Alicia, I think you'd be great at this. And so he gave my name to one of the recruiters, and that's kind of how it all started. And the recruiter called me, and he said, I want you to start thinking about, where you would want to be. Here's the opportunities that you have. Marion was really the only place that was open, but it was perfect for what I wanted, and I was like, I can't imagine another, a better place to be than Marion. And so, and then he said, you need to start looking around, just get it in your thought, in your mind, where you would want to be. And then I passed by Sheila Hensley's place, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do State Farm, but if this is exactly where I'm going to be at.
Yeah.
And, because at that point in time, the process hadn't really started. They just said, like, what do you want? We're going to start the interviewing process. It's a lot of work getting to where I was, where I am today, to get to that point through training and everything like that. But I kind of laughed because I was like, before I decided to interview for State Farm, I knew what building I wanted to be in. And that was it. And it kind of like, the dream went from there, because I could picture where I was going to be at.
Right.
And everything just along the way, every time I got a little nervous or anything, a door would open, and it just all happened exactly how it was supposed to.
Now, where is that location for those that may not know?
It's 2008 West Main Street.
Okay.
Yes. It's we are just down from the Dairy Queen. We were right next to where the old Marion Motel used to be.
Okay,
so, yeah.
Awesome.
And it is a beautiful building. It kind of screams built by an architect, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And I was going to ask if there was a prior relationship or history, but I kind of like that you were like, that's my building. That's where I need to be.
Absolutely.
And, you know, our Main Street, people still say Old 13, you know,
Right.
is really redeveloping into kind of being the premier corridor, if you will, for office space leading up to the remodeled Tower Square Plaza. So it is really a diamond piece on that route. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, I feel very blessed, very lucky that I've been able to be there and everything. And Sheila's been absolutely wonderful, and so I couldn't ask for, you know, anything better.
Great.
It's awesome. What has been your favorite part about being a business owner? Do you have like strengths that you knew taking into a new business that you definitely would need to lean on, or?
I knew that, especially, so I was Scratch, and if for anybody who doesn't know what Scratch means, that's like zero book of business. And, you know, I had 8 other agents that I spoke to, and they're like, "Are you crazy?" Like, and I was like, "No, I think this is going to work. I just have this feeling like this is exactly what I need to do, and that it's going to be great." And so part of that being optimistic was part of one of my strengths that I leaned into, you know, just because I had to. There's a sign in our office that says everything is figure outable. And, you know, I kind of, you know, it's true. I lean on that, you know, that we can figure everything out and control the controllables, and just kind of follow your heart. And that's what I've done. Absolutely.
So one of the reasons you were high on my list to get into this podcast is the way that I've seen you just go all in.
Yeah.
I honestly, don't know how many hours in the day you have. It seems unfair. You might have more. But also, like, you don't say no.
Right.
If there's a community event, you're there.
Yes.
So maybe talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that was one of the things that, you know, was really high on my list, was giving back to the community. And so, yeah, we have pretty much, if there is something that's happening and they ask us to do it, we do. And, you know, that's been great. I mean, we were at the trunk or treat, and we called about 2 weeks before, thinking, like, how many kids are there going to be? And they were like, 3,000 to 5,000. We were like, what? And so we started brainstorming, Lauren, my marketing girl, about what we could do. And we came up with popcorn and cups. And so we had 3,500 cups made. And we found out really quickly that we needed 126 pounds of popcorn.
Wow.
And so I sent a message out to Shad Zimbro at Harley Davidson, and I was like, "Hey, you got some huge popcorn makers over there at the
At one park.
yes, thank
Ridgewood
you.
Park. Our baseball park, yeah.
Yes, and I said, you know, would you care if we use
That's
them?
so smart. I
This
didn't
is-
even think about that.
Well, we had this. We thought it was a bigger popcorn maker. We've used it on several occasions, but it wasn't about to hit 126 pounds of popcorn. And so so that night it was packed. I think they had more people than they ever expected were going to be there. And we started just taking the cups, and we put it in trays and started, you know, bringing it out to people, because people were waiting. It was like 7, 8 o'clock. Kids were getting hungry and stuff. And at one point, you know, we're going back and forth, and we're bringing out all the cups, but I just stopped. And I looked around, and I was like, this is what makes me happy. I am so happy at this point, because we're giving back. We're doing something for the community that, you know, means so much, and are giving these kids a great time, and their families. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah.
I wish every community had people like you. Right?
Thank you very
'Cause
much.
Our small communities have those needs, and
Yes.
to have an attitude like yours, that it's really the small business owners that need to pick it up and meet those needs.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful.
And it takes so much to keep this town going, whether, you know, it's our police department, fire department, you know, linemen, postal people, you know, there's just the city workers. It takes so much. It takes a village.
Yeah.
And this is a family.
What year did you start the State Farm business?
So I launched December 1 of 2022. So I
Okay.
just hit my year anniversary. Yeah.
So in the early stages of your small business, what challenges have you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Some of it was hiring. I mean and currently, I mean, I'm so blessed to have a wonderful team. But in the very beginning, hiring was definitely, you know, a little scary, and just, you know, trying to get out there, because, you know, we ask a lot of these people that are coming in. We ask them to take their time to, get licensed and, their property and casualty license, and then life and health. And so it's scary. I was scared. I was scared to death. And I remember the night before I took my first test, my husband was like, you got to calm down. And I was just like, no, this is like, you don't understand. Like, I've worked so hard for this, and like, it could be all over tomorrow. I could take the test again, but sure. I was being ultra dramatic, I guess, in my head about what that was going to look like. But it ended up, passing and having no problem. And so, it was all good. But I see that, hiring is something that's been, difficult, but it ended up all working out. So because like now I have 4 of the best staff ever, and I can be any happier than and blessed to have them.
Great.
So I didn't think about it until you were talking about being plugged in at the Marion PD Spectacular Trunk and Treat. But like, I think community is your why. I mean, in addition to that, I saw you at Chili Cook-Off.
Yes.
For those who don't know, I have to brag on her a little bit, in that when we have really terrible weather, she has been known to set up an account with Moreland Bishop McDonald's and feed our first responders and our street crew, and that means the world. Those are the things that make a difference and make not just a better town, but it even makes the city's employees more loyal to the town. So it's super helpful. What's next?
Oh, yeah. So we talked a lot about that. What's next? And continuing what we're doing right now. Just really, we figured out that is our best way for people to know who we are and see us, is by giving back. And that does 2 things, because it helps us. It completes our why we're here, why we're doing this, and then it also gets us out in the community. And if you love your job and you love what you're doing, life is good, and that's truly, something that's so important to me, is this, my parents, were always active in the community, giving back. I always loved giving back, been on several mission trips and things of that nature. Matter of fact, at the chamber dinner the other night, the guy was talking about
Marion Medical Mission.
And I was like, oh my goodness. My uncle was a priest in Africa, a missionary priest in Africa. Okay. So that's always been close to my heart. And so that may be the next thing, is getting involved with him. I love that idea. So just another little sign that something, a path for me to take.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, $450 building a well for a village is really just, it feels attainable. It feels like you can see a beginning and an end.
Absolutely.
And the results. And if you ever have a chance to see any of their videos of the villages rejoicing, I mean, I don't know how you say no.
No,
so
that's
absolutely.
Great.
That's good.
Absolutely. So I may have to take the mayor's spot and go to I was like, oh, well, I would do that.
Yeah.
Is the mayor going to be going?
He has said, I think that they've asked him several times.
The challenge has been issued.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
So cool. Well, other than popcorn machines at the ballpark, what's your number one resource that you have found here in a small town? I mean, what kind of tools and things like that?
You know what? Jennifer and with the state has been absolutely phenomenal. I mean, just helping, help me whenever I ask, okay, what can we do next? What is it there that, where is there a need? And she's automatically on it and giving me ideas and everything. And I love that. So, and just trying to be a part of the community, using small businesses to, whenever we have things to do, giving back to, whether it's thank you gifts to the police department, bringing them food, different things, just to show our appreciation for the community and for the school systems. We do bottled water to the schools that they can give out or sell. We give them the pallets of water, and it has the Marion logo on our logo on it, but that's an item that they can take, and they can either sell it to make money for the school, different programs, or they can give them out. But it's a great way for for us to give back to them as well.
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
What's the challenges? What's the tough stuff about doing business in a small town?
Well, there is one. I mean, there's a lot of insurance agents and agencies in Marion, and with as the internet and buying online, that is great, but that came in a whole different look to the insurance business. 90%, I think it is, of insurance is pre-bought online and searched online. And so, I mean, there's competition everywhere. The good thing is everybody has to have it. It's something that everybody needs. And, we can really make a difference in people's lives with that. The one nice thing about State Farm and why I chose them was their community support, their support for their agents, and how that they have, such a presence in the town and the community. And that's what I wanted. I wanted that old feel of where the customer could come in and talk to us. There's a lot of times I give out my cell phone number, and I'm like, if there's something you need, let me know, And so that's been, just something that I want to do is really, customer service driven, like that they can feel like it's back, kind of like the square, like that, it's back to people walking around the square, buying local and things like that. We may be a national company, but we're local. We're here. You can call us. You can talk to me. We're available.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I would think it's a highly competitive field.
It is, absolutely.
But is there also a sense of support among each other?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, for sure.
That's so great.
Yeah, I've been very blessed with, how many of the agents in, here and in the surrounding communities, just how awesome they've all been. So, it's been really great.
That's good. What have you been learning on your journey here in your first year?
Oh, wow. It's doable. Not to stress about, control the controllables. If I can't control it, not to freak out about it. We've had a lot of ups and downs, over the last year, but now that I've hit that 1 year mark, I feel like I can kind of breathe. We were so let's just get out there, let's figure it all out. We'll figure out what works, what doesn't work. I'm finally at that point where I'm like, okay, I can breathe. Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned the HR human resource hat. Mm-hmm. So what's your favorite hats to wear, and what's your least favorite? What would you like to delegate out or hire out? Okay.
Well, marketing, I will say, is definitely part of the hiring out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I like the planning of, deciding what we're going to do and everything, but the social media part, I don't feel very comfortable with that.
Gotcha.
I get really nervous with the social media stuff. So I have a great marketing girl, and she's amazing with that. Sometimes she sneaks pictures in, though, of me. I don't know.
Is it the one of you taking the gas tank?
Yeah, one of those. Yeah, she's done that.
To her client who ran out of gas.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. Awesome. I wasn't sure. I didn't know. I was like,
I thought
Lauren?
It was cute.
That is so good. I can see you doing that.
Yeah. Well, it was a day that everybody in the office was busy, but that guy called in and he was like, I need, a tow truck because I ran out of gas. And I said, where is he at? And I said, we're going to just go get him, get some gas, and we're going to go bring it to him. He's like a couple of miles down the road. Yeah. And so that's what we did. And somebody got a picture of it.
That's so good.
They posted it.
And you don't get that if you buy your insurance on the internet. Let's remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, that's true. Absolutely. And that's just like that community part of it. But back to, social media is not my strong suit. But being a part of the community, being able to put myself out there, whether it just started on the board of the chamber and things of that nature, that I do love. And so I'm very excited about doing more of that and being a part of the community and the surrounding communities.
That's good. Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Being on the board of the Marion Chamber.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm excited.
Us here at EThOs, we're on our second year too, and we're developing like the Incubator programs and how to help businesses grow. So what would you be looking for maybe in this next year, or if you can look at your first year, what kind of classes, what kind of workshops, coaching? Is there certain subjects that would work best for you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I would say, we always have the ability to learn. And so I think whether it's marketing, that's huge. Online presence. I mean, like I said, 90% of insurance is bought. They start online. Whether they're, know that they're going to go to an agent or they're going to buy online, it starts there. So I would think that is, that would be a huge help. I would be very interested in that. And any kind of classes or book clubs that works around just helping the entrepreneur, the business owner, small business owner, because there's so many things that you don't know about and you're not sure about, whether it's accounting or, who to hire for an S corp, and just different things like that you're not sure about. And so like having some kind of path to where entrepreneurs and newer business owners could see that I think would be huge.
Awesome. I need to recruit you for a mastermind group.
Okay,
so
absolutely.
Plug myself. Yeah.
Well, and this is going to sound like a plug for this building, but it's true. Some of the best magic happens among the people who are here for the class.
Absolutely.
In the hallway.
We are a Grow with Google city, so we have some access to curriculum from that. And so I was training a class based on their curriculum, and then a group that attended the class stayed for probably 10, 15 minutes, and there was just happened to be somebody in the room who was really good at TikTok, and she was teaching everybody else how to use TikTok for your business. Yeah. And those kind of organic things that happen when you are just in IRL, in real life, with people, and you just never know what strong suit somebody else has in the room. So, I'm all about asking for help and, using the best resources and offering help, hand up, hand out.
Right.
That's good.
Well, and so many, I know in my training with State Farm, so we did our entire 17 weeks of training was a Zoom call from my basement and being on camera. And so you lost that camaraderie that you would gain, after class, where you would be able to ask questions of your fellow cohorts, and you didn't get that. I mean, we would have like a wine night where we would like Zoom and ask each other questions, but it still didn't make up for the time that before COVID, where you were actually hanging out with these people, really got to know the ins and outs of the insurance and be able to ask questions. And so I think that having something like that here, because I think more and more companies are going to Zoom learning, and that really takes away something important in the learning process.
Yeah, that's good. Well, Jennifer had already asked about your future plans for your business, but 2023, what does 2023 look like for you? Do you have any specific goals that you want to reach? Is there specific places you want to be?
Wow, yeah. I mean, to continue to be, just to dive more and more into the Marion area and, just see where we land with everything. But, being a part of all, there's so many great things that are getting ready to happen here. It just feels like this, town is getting ready to explode into a city here before our eyes. So just watching all the great things that are coming along down the pike is amazing.
Good deal.
Well, you're a very positive person. There's no doubt about that.
Yes. Yeah.
Any business tips so you can think of for our listeners and watchers? Because I think you have a great thing to say.
Oh, thank you. Right. Like I said, just don't be afraid to ask for help and find those resources. And there's no stupid questions. I thought every question I was going to have I was so scared that it was going to be wrong. And there couldn't be anything less than, or farther from the truth on that, because, it is important to ask questions. That's how we learn. And in this day and age with social media, I think people get a little, they're scared, they're timid to ask things, to ask for help. And it's not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of learning and growth. And, so that's
awesome.
That's it.
Is there anything else that we need to include? Anything you want to highlight?
Just, come and see us. We love for visitors to stop into our office. It's a beautiful space. Sheila, the entire building is amazing. And we'd love anybody to stop in and see us anytime.
So, Alicia, how would someone find you online?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could find us on Instagram or Facebook, Google search, and then as well as www.mysfagentalicia.com.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you in chapter 2. I think it's going to be a great read.
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. I think the year is going to hold a lot of wonderful things, and yeah, it'll be great.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being part of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Again, you're an expert now. You did wonderful.
Well, thank you.
We'll recommend you to other podcasts.
Okay,
How's
well, that would be great. I would love that. Absolutely. You guys did a great job, and this is a beautiful atmosphere to be in, and thank you for making me feel so relaxed and welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So our guest today has been Alicia Davis of Alicia Davis State Farm, and we want to thank you for tuning in and watching us on these episodes of Small Town Big Business. Thank you to our sponsors for making this possible. Again, that includes Arcadia Wealth Group, Black Diamond Harley Davidson and RV, Fowler Heating and Cooling, the Swinford Media Group, Watermark Auto Group Foundation, and especially thanks to our producer Luke O'Neill, who is with Union Street Arts. If you want to know more about EThOs, again, we're a small business incubator, co-working spaces, training and development. You can contact me. I'm Russell Williams, and my email is russell@watermarkethos.org, or you can look for us on Facebook. It's Ethos at the Citadel.
So what's next, dear listener? Go to your favorite podcast application, search Small Town Big Business, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. If you want to see our smiling faces, follow us on YouTube. Thanks again for listening in. I'm Jennifer Olson.
And I'm Russell Williams.